St. Francis, Kansas, which was like 250 miles away from me. I drove out there to go see him. The guy had a real nice setup. Out there, just nothing open, no trees, no nothing, just fields as far as the eye can see. Has stuff set up on a 100-foot tower Antron, and he's running about 500 watts.
Right. And he was a policeman?
No, it just made me think of how well he was coming 250 miles away. He was tagging me out, and how well he was coming in with the setup he had and all that.
Oh, 10-4.
Summertime, he'd be walking the fields. Wintertime, he would do nothing except talk on that base station up there.
Sounds like a good plan. All right, Bones, I'm going to get on the side. I got 2 more minutes. I'm going to turn this thing on there. I'll be standing by.
10-4, we'll be standing by over here listening
Sounds like we got some more stations coming in there too when y'all was talking. The old 320, we'll try to see if we can get out and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you going to be recording already?
Yeah, I'm getting set up now.
Okay, I got 1 more minute. I'm going to start at 7:55. I did that upcoming event thing, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I tried it one time before, and it messed me up, so I had to shut it down and start all over. But I'm going to get ready to go live in just a minute.
Alrighty. I had to adjust my had to adjust the camera and do all the stuff, trying to keep the laptop from showing up. Didn't want that mirror, gazillion mirror effect and showing up when I was surfing and no telling what else. I got to get that bonus material in there too.
Oh, I know that. It's trying to do something over here. It's wiggling around, going live, it said. Hang on.
I got a dog sitting over here wanting to play, and not the best opportune time. She's over here throwing her rawhide at me.
What is the difference between 455 GMT and 755 EST?
Well, GMT is Greenwich Mean Time, and EST is Eastern Standard Time.
I know that, but is there a difference in the time?
Well, I think in the summer, or what? Is it 4 hours in the summer and 5 hours in the winter? I think that's right. GMT is I think that's right. 4 hours ahead of us in the summer and 5 hours ahead of us in the winter. So right now we're on EDT time, Eastern Daylight Time.
Example, I got to figure out how to get out of this thing here. I'll be right back.
We'll be kicking off all radio night at 8 p.m.
Yeah, Temple, yeah, I went ahead and started it. I had a heck of a time getting it off of that upcoming thing, cut and figure. All right, well, old radio night, a little early, 7:58. I was trying to do that upcoming event thing, but it didn't work out. A night ranger had to explain to me the difference between a Pacific time, Eastern Standard Time, Rocky Mountain time, and all those times there. So I was on Greenwich Mean Time. Anyway, okay, standing by.
Crazy man needs to call up White Dog, see if he's gonna get in here.
Oh, thank you. You found great to me. I called him and he didn't show. He didn't answer. Well, he did answer, but he said he was coming out there, and I guess he fell on the floor right in front of the radio, and he's laying there right now with his arms stretched out, and he's couldn't get up. Help! I found him, and I can't get up. Somebody call over there and get him to knock the microphone down on the floor.
Alright, it's 8 p.m.
Temple, yeah, already started over here. I had to do it because I had set that thing up wrong. But anyway, it's ready to go. It's okay, it's ready.
Alright, so what are you talking about?
Oh, I got this Johnson Messenger 223 with a D104 with a dirty diaper flag on. Let's see if I can get it in there. There you go. That was made for me by a drifter, made me that flag there. He's made several of them. He did a better job than the people that made the other ones I got. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this radio, come to find out, is basically a Blackface Johnson Messenger 2. The Messenger 2, and then 23 channel. They were in a hurry to get a 23 channel radio out there, so they just turned the Blackface Johnson chassis sideways and added, you know, the crystal synthesis and other crystals to it, and a different, you know, faceplate. But it's basically the same radio as a Blackface Johnson. I know somebody's going to say it isn't, but anyway. All right, well, that's what I'm talking on, and I'm standing by.
Well, that explains the audio. That radio was kind of an audio monster on transmit, especially if you had a D104 on it. I don't know which mic you got, but I know the first time I remember hearing one of those and at least knew what it was, they had a D104. I don't remember. I think it was amplified, but in any case, yeah, it had tons of audio, and it was a good sounding radio. I remember hearing one around 1976. It was a girl who, well, I'll leave my comments about the individual, but in any case, the radio sounded pretty good with her on it.
Yeah, well, that's what this is. This is an amplified D104. It may not be the right head for it. I'm just using this one because I like the flag that drifter made for me. I've got another couple more. I've got so many of these cotton picking microphones, I don't even know. But I'm going to go through them again. I had done it years ago, and checking them out and seeing which one that sounded the best, you know, the crystal elements there. All right, well, let me stand by, and are you going to tell us what you're talking on there, Night Ranger?
All right. I almost hate to call this vintage. I guess, you know, it's just hard for me to think of a radio from this decade as vintage, but it is a 25-year-old radio, if not slightly more. This radio came out, I think, around 1991, and I remember seeing advertisements for it maybe as far as early 1997 in the ARRL QST magazine. It's not a CB, if you can guess, since it was in the QST. But this is a 1990s, early to mid-1990s Kenwood TS-850 SAT with a Shure 522 desk mic on it, and I got the matching Kenwood SP31 speaker on it. And got a little Radio Shack DSP 40 on it to for when I'm on sideband to get rid of the tones. This is an excellent sideband radio. Matter of fact, the contesters loved this radio back in the day. And AM is just kind of fair. Matter of fact, I'd have to call it a little bit noisy on AM compared to like a Cobra 2000 or Realistic TRC 451. But excellent sideband radio and good ham radio. You can look on eham.net, and they're always comparing other radios to this radio. So it was kind of the standard of the day. It was definitely considered a contester's radio.
Well, I sure hope that guy that likes you don't get on you about you talking on the radio like that, and you know, being just not a CB radio. He probably would rather you be talking on like a Export Galaxy on CB.
Well, you know, it was a radio I hadn't had out in a while, and figured this hasn't been on any of my AM videos, you know, the old radio night. So it is an old radio, not a CB, but it is an old radio. So I figured I'd give it a spin. And I actually have the little brother, a Kenwood 450, sitting over in the floor. It looks a lot like it's just a little bit smaller version, a few minor differences, and I may have it on here one night as well.
Tim Roger. Yeah, where you been?
Out there nowhere. Out of my head, everything else. That light that come up over this way the other this afternoon and struck over here both top of it. Caused me to unplug it.
Oh, okay, because I talked to you on the phone there, and you said you was right there in front of the radio, and Slammer was worried about you. We thought maybe you had fell and in front of the radio and was laying there with your arm reaching up trying to get the mic.
Oh, the damn radio running over me.
Okay, I was going to call Hippie, and I don't know his number, see if he could go over there and knock the microphone down on top of you so he could talk to us.
Oh? He said too, he waited on the sun to get over and the sun showed up, and I thought he got to play something fancy out there for the football game out the other night. He picked dang old little flat ass damn hamburger meat, and you had to put those asses to see him.
Oh, okay, hiding under the pickle.
Yep, the pickle had the whole sandwich. The hamburger, I don't know where it went.
Roger.
Oh, these people are something else. And the other way I said it all too, I heard somebody kept doing that. Lots of people in that town, I couldn't find them, and it got me up the wall. I think that's when I unplugged it again.
Yeah, Roger, on that. Yeah, I made a comment about that earlier tonight there, Roger beeping and all like that, and said if they keep up that, I'm going to cut the radio off there, because, you know, I just don't want to listen to it, so. But anyway, what are you on that Cobra, Cobra 21?
No, I'm on Galaxy.
Galaxy Saturn Turbo?
Yes, sir. Good radio, don't only matter, yes.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought you said you was going to hook up that Cobra 21.
I can do that too. I heard somebody say, oh, I keyed over that 21. I put radios and I went back on my job and I watched damn 21 you keyed over. You tell them a fix.
Oh, watch out. I got this tape rolling, but they might have been saying they keyed on me. Who knows?
Sorry about that. That's how he had to. There's grown men out there that still got little babies.
Okay, well, I'm going to get on the side.
Sorry about saying that word there. That slipped out my mouth and his baseball bat hit me in the head and turned around and baseball ball came around and hit me in the back of the head.
Roger. I'm gonna stand by, let them other fellows go out there.
Airport there.
Slammer, you gonna go? He gone. Crazy man, you talked too long.
Not yet. I'm right here. Hold on. Hold on tight now. I don't want you to fall and hit that floor.
You got that box that won't stay keyed.
Terrible situation. Why you gotta be all like that, crazy man? Why you gotta be all like that? Huh? Alright, this is Slammer, 755. I'm talking on my usual Galaxy Saturn base with my Silver Eagle D104, with my PAL 351, and a set of dusty meters. And I'm on a tower about 45 foot in the air with an Antron 99, and that's what I got. And I'm pulling back.
No show, we'll call him no show.
Sounding good. Rogie.
I know you doing that no show. But shoot, I got up early Sunday morning, bushy tail, and I had my coffee and everything waiting on you. No show.
Well, you should have been waiting on me with some breakfast, and I would have definitely came.
So we would have been on Waffle House right up the street right there.
Oh, well, I don't eat no damn Waffle House now. Hey, if you'd had some sausage, you'd have been right over there.
I never went to the store and got you a big sausage followers.
Let me stop picking on him. Rogie. That's right. And I'm back out. 987, you want to go ahead and go?
I am back, and I'm ready to roll. John's Island, running a Top Gun Quad 5. Millie KO 503. For about,
My goodness, me and my quarter watt.
well, you need to quiet down, somebody's talking, thank you. 300 whiskeys right now.
Roger on that there. Okay. Well, you're doing a good job. I can hear you. I don't think I got the preamp on. Let me turn the preamp on and see if that brings you in any better.
Roger on that. I still ain't got the antenna fully raised up yet. Ran into antenna issues there on the Antron 99. To find out, looks like I might have to get a new, different antenna or something. Anyways, it's getting a little bit high standing weight ratio. A little bit. It's not too noticeably different, but it's a little bit, so I was gonna have to change about it. I mean, when I recently first got the antenna, the SWR was, 1.5 and lower. I mean, it is, right out of the box and all, it is really good. I mean, the standing weight ratio, is really good, but something ended up changing, and, I gotta fix it somehow.
10-4 on that there. All right. Well, I know you'll get it straightened out.
Yes, sir, I will. Yes, sir. But, anyways, 221, I sent you a email there, geez, as a heads up, so when you get a chance, go ahead and read it all, but I sent you a link too, so just when you get a chance, take a look at it, take your time and all.
Yeah, well, I can't do it right now because I got the computer doing the old radio night. I got another computer, but I had to go in the house and get it, or go over to Night Ranger's house, and I don't know whether his computer's upstairs or downstairs, or whether we're going to use the Hillary Clinton type server or which one we have to use over there. He's got like computers everywhere over there, you know, so, but I'll check it out for you. I'm back out.
Yeah, boy. Just when you get a chance, man. Just when you get a chance. No big hurry or nothing.
Bones, you want to go ahead and go tell us what you're talking on?
Yeah, 10-4. Apologize, I didn't hear somebody talking here. I got weak ears, but I'm on this old Galaxy 44B set up in the house here, running it on a Palomar 225. You know, right against my privacy fence here in the back. I got a 102 stainless steel, and that's what I'm talking on.
Well, what are you using as a counterpoise on that?
Come back again?
I say, what are you using as a counterpoise?
No loss on the question that you asked. I'm not sure what you're asking.
What are you using as a ground reflection? A reflection, like, you know, are you using any radials, any wire, or anything?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I got it grounded along with maybe Bill Poe in the back, and then I run it two 108-inch copper wire that is kind of not a little tilted down lower to keep the SWRs down.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Good. That sounds good. Well, it's doing a good job for what it is there, no doubt. But, okay, well, I'm going to get on the side.
Like an old-timey drooper antenna they used to make back in the 70s. That's basically what they were.
388, the one and only Bones here in Dubuque Creek, South Carolina.
410.
21.
Yeah.
Well, it's got Galaxy 21 over here in Mobile.
Wow, that thing's really loud, man.
Oh, I got G04 hooked into it.
Yeah, it's a lot louder than your other radio, because your other radio, you don't turn it up as loud. That near is loud there.
You loud too, because I got that big speaker back from 3 there. You wouldn't use it, and you have it pulled over in the corner, but when you ain't use it, you bring it back in there.
Well, can you hear him okay over there, Night Ranger?
Yeah, I can hear him good. There was like two different versions of that radio. There was the Cobra 21, which was the crystal synthesis, and then they had a Cobra 21X, which I'm not positive. I think that was PLL and may have been a UPD 858, and then I think they even had a 40X, and then they started doing the GTLs and whatever else they had.
The LTD,
I think XLR actually. Maybe they did the XLRs first, and then later they went to the GTLs.
Hey, crazy man. That radio doesn't have a mic gain knob on it, does it?
I don't see it.
On the floor, on the D104?
Yeah, it's all you get is that.
Well, it's picking up so much background. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. It's really, you know, I'm just too close to you, I guess. But you hear him. Night Ranger can hear you real good over there. He's got a radio that don't matter how bad you sound, it makes up for it and gives you like, you know, a rose petal bed there when it comes out of his radio.
Yeah, 410, I got rid of that. I cut TV off when I don't figure it out. We're watching Jane talking another tune back there. That ain't doing too good. I got it quiet over here now.
10-4. Is that better there, Night Ranger?
Well, it sounds fine to me. A little background noise, but he still sounds fine.
Yeah, he's just so close to me, it's you know, burying me over here, but I just want to make sure you can hear him.
All right.
Yeah.
You can hear noise?
I hear you fine. Oh, you've got the background. There's a little bit. I mean, there is a background noise. I don't know what it is. Air conditioner or who knows.
Yeah, I cut the air conditioner off and I ain't cut the fan off. Somebody had to bring me a block of ice.
Yeah, there's a zzzz in the background, but it's no big deal.
My fingers on the table. 4-5. now, you hear it now?
A little bit.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Well, like I said, I'm not crying over it.
Dude, I can't hear it. I can't hear it because my band over here, Bill. I can't hear that one you hear.
We got to make Night Ranger happy.
I'm not the one that's complaining.
Ooh. Somebody hit it, man.
21, the instigator.
Yeah.
I hope you're not as bad as, well, there was this jerk when I was growing up named Kevin. And he used to like try to make people fight. And he, first time he did it, there was this girl who she was already kind of bitchy. She was kind of a jack in the box, you know, trying to get along with her was like turning the crank on a jack in the box. You start trying to be friends with her and everything seemed to be fine, and then, you know, all of a sudden she'd jump out and boom, start bitching at you, and you try to get her calmed down and try to be friends with her. And once again, like turning the crank on the jack in the box, she'd jump out and start bitching. I got where I called her bitch in the box. But anyway, Kevin came to me and tried to tell me that Mary Lawrence said that she liked me, and then he went to her and told her that I said that she said she liked me, and then of course I'm sitting around one day and she goes off on me. She says, "The Night Ranger, I never said I liked you," and I'm like, "What?" And then he went and did that with somebody else, you know, went and came to me and said all this bad stuff about this guy named Chris, and then went back to Chris and told him I said that stuff, and then one day I get a knock on my door and Chris is all pissed off at me. I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, 10-4.
Hey, you still can hear that fan now, Ranger?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can't do nothing about it. Nice going to yard, you hear crickets and frogs and everything else there.
Just turn the D104 down.
Go ahead, range out. Go ahead.
Hey, crazy man. Take the mic off that the other radio and stick on there.
You didn't have to do any of that. Just get a screwdriver and turn the D104 down.
Oh, this is the one in my solder wrenches.
The other one's soldered onto the radio and you can't unscrew it?
No.
I can say if it is, that's not a code for 21. So who else we got in here? Is White Dog in here?
Tell you can be out here, you never showed up. Hey, Night Ranger.
Yeah.
How you liking that Kenwood?
Oh, I like it. It's an excellent sideband radio. It's just kind of fair on AM, but now on sideband, it's excellent.
Yeah, boy. How many whiskeys is that thing putting out?
Well, it'll do 100 on sideband, and right now I got it. Let's see. I got it cruising about 25 on AM on Dickey.
That's on the J-pole?
Yeah, wire J-pole at 90 feet. Of course, there's a big honking 70-pound box sitting here right next to it, but I won't go into what that is.
I get what you're saying. Well, it's doing a good job, man. It's doing a real good job. It's got a real good modulation, even on AM.
Oh, shoot, yeah, I was looking at different radios back around 2004. I was looking at buying a ham radio, and I was researching different radios, and I was on eham.net looking at all the reviews, and they kept all comparing these other radios to the Kenwood 850. And so finally that made me look at the 850, because that seemed to be the benchmark that everybody was comparing it to. Well, I like my 850 better, blah blah blah. And so at some point I said, well, I need to look at the 850. So that's when I started looking at it.
You know, honestly, man, I thought getting the same reviews too. I belong there to a group there on 370 there on 27370 called the Worldwide Sidebanders. I heard of them or not, but anyways, the old group must get together on the weekend to do radio check-in and so on and so on. Well, one of them too, they talked about those Kenwoods and all.
Yeah, well, it's nice. Like I said, it's an excellent sideband radio. The contesters, It's known for really good selectivity. It's got dual ceramic filters, and the contesters, you know, the guys that are real big into contesters and out of them crowded band conditions, they just love this radio. Back in the 1990s, this was like one of the radios to have. I think the only one above this was back then was the Kenwood TS-850 SAT. There was one above this one, and that was like a 150 watt rig with a few more other whistles and bells. But yeah, those guys that like to work crowded conditions during a contest, they love the Kenwood 850.
I gotta ring a bell for that bozo control there. Hang on. That's one bell ringing. You gotta ring a bell every once in a while. Okay, I'm back out.
Good evening to the band. We checking in.
Hello. Hey, 15-4. 15-4, you still out there?
Got your foot. You can't pick up the microphone.
Good evening to you, Crazy. Night Ranger, Slammer, and Bones 21. We just checking in. I guess I ought to say what we talking on. Same thing we always talk on. Striker 497. We got a Mako V5000 ground plane, and that's what we're doing it with.
Sounding real good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well, they did over here in the creek, where we're at war here in the creek. They have one of those hot metal bugs in battle. They're trying to terminate. That's right, Bones. You sound like you're making all Charleston, ain't no doubt about it. Appreciate the bump down, Bones. You know this, 15-4, I'm clear to go. 10-4, appreciate that. Let me get this out. Don't know who's going to win this battle between me and this flying hot metal bug, but if I don't make it, guys, it's been great. And this is 388, Bones. We're back out.
Boy. Hey, Bones, you and that palmetto bug about the same size. That ought to be a pretty good battle.
Oh, well, yeah, you can be the same size. I mean, I know you've never seen me before, but once you see me, you'll understand why they call me Bones and we're back out.
Let's get us a definite. Well, if you turn sideways, will I still be able to see you?
No matter which way I turn. Hey, 21, is 45 still on the cruise?
He indicated that he'd be back by tonight, but I don't know when, or maybe he got delayed. I don't know. Maybe he found something on the buffet that he liked.
He's all you.
That's 987, crazy man.
Who he is or who you talking to, though?
Let's see. Well, a group of people, I don't know, you know, he wasn't talking directly to you. I think he was talking to Bones, me, and 15-4 was the original instigators of the conversation. And you were over there watching TV.
I ain't got nothing over here to hear. I don't think Night Ranger hear it now.
Yeah, well, you can watch it. He can't see it.
You don't want to watch it because they ain't paying worth 2 cents.
I'm watching this on MeTV about, I don't know if it might have been the what is that? Lizard Man underwater. What was that? The monster from the Black Lagoon. And yeah, it's at least it's not Godzilla again.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Top of the evening to you all. Lucky said that. Hello, 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 hello. Sounding good, everybody, and lovely lights. Hey, you're lucky, 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 and more lucky. Hello, Lucky.
Yeah, hello, Lucky. I'm waving a hand.
Hey, 21, top of the night to you.
Careful, you blasting in over here.
Mercy. Well, I kind of turned the oil up on this 2970 over here a little bit, right?
10 Roger. Don't get it too strong. Crazy man over there is, he's sweating bullets now with the needles bouncing in the corner.
You're right about that between you and Lucky. Boy, you don't got that this old. Here's the 21 over here bouncing back and forth. My chef fucking been a little bit bigger than that video fit right in it. Hello, Pacific 15-4.
Yes, sir. We just heard you broadcasting out of beautiful Metropolis, Lansing, so we thought we'd spike the mic and say good evening.
10-4, thank you now. Same to you. I say, the dude song was, I mean, he's the third one. I killed that other dog, don't leave me alone.
Crazy man, you're going to have to run the show for a minute. I got to go in and get a cough drop.
I got something out here somewhere. I'm looking for mine. There's a Kit Kat in the gut, so whole lot of power mint in it.
Tempo, well, go ahead and take one, and I'll go in and get me one.
Great day, you sound like me. I'm doing music next over here. My throat's all screwed up too. I had my shelf on the table cleaned off. Then I got to do it again. I can't find my own shelf on the stand on the table over here.
Yes, sir.
Can you stand for me?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody can hear you, but we'll fire for you. Go ahead.
Can you tell Bones and Lucky I said hello?
Yes, stand right here. Bones, can you hear 987?
That'd be a Decatur. So, by the way, somebody was playing taps for a giant palmetto bug that he didn't win.
Yeah, stand right here. 987 over there on the island. He wanted to say hello to let you know that he can hear you.
Yeah, 10-4, I appreciate that, 987. I got a radio. It's got some fancy ears. Sometimes I can hear, sometimes I can't. But top of the evening time, I got done fighting. You know those palmetto bugs, those giant little flying stuffers? I just got done out of life, 53 years old, out in the field, man. I get jumpy with those things.
Get them things too. I got some spray out here. The bird can see them when it bites me. Get that rascal pump it up. I'll spray it and watch him fall hit the ground.
Yeah, well, he made it bad. Got a knock that stung with a broom, and then I just stomped on it.
No, you're right. Trouble about it. I don't want to spray it in the house or do it. Let me out the house and take the lease an hour and a half to get back in there.
987, he said hello right back. Just letting you know.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll be standing by, and hopefully that's the rest of the story on the palmetto bug here. Hope there ain't no more. Hope we didn't bring them in.
Anyways, definitely appreciate the 10-5, and Thomas, I hope you have a great night.
Stand right, you're 987. We back in these bushes.
Radio got Cobra 21 mobile radio. I thought about putting it in the truck. Everybody talked me out of it. What do you think about that? 15-4?
What you talking on right now sounds pretty good to me.
The one I want to put in the truck, everybody said, no. You get out in the house. You get out in that mobile, you got all that power behind that seat. And that Cobra 21 mobile radio.
Yes, Dan Ryan. Well, it's got a nice sound to it. We like it.
Well, you know, tell me more. I want to put it in there and try it out.
I would try it, just so you can know. But it sounds good from the way it's talking right now.
Now, poor Tim. Tell them about it. Ain't nobody out there during the daytime to find out how good it sounds to my guys out there. Ain't nobody out there to talk to.
Sounds good, Crazy.
It is 4-watt radio.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm a boy. Only pushing 4 watts.
I know you're pushing more than that.
No, sir. They showing must still are pushing up. The women to see. Yeah, 4 watts, weighted up around 25.
Yeah, like I said, I know you're pushing more than that.
But my big meter weight, that meter cost around $149 for one of the meters.
Crazy man. Well, anyways, man, it sounded good. It's doing a good job. It's got good, clean modulation, too. Real good, clean modulation. I highly recommend sticking with that radio.
And the one thing, on 34 fix it for me, man, because everybody fix it, because everybody keep telling me, you need to bring some damn knobs along out there. You turn too many knobs. I don't turn no knobs on that big radio. I do that there. I would have a problem. Might have to get somebody over here to put it back on the right spot.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, that radio, you don't have to adjust anything. You do not need to turn anything at all. That sounds good. Crystal clear.
I can pick you up real good on this small radio. Then you get out and valve, you better move my needle though. Then it's right on this radio. It's okay. That'll work.
10-4.
I thought that gas at 33 out there, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
The radio last day, I already got done running 1, 2, 3 out there, Bob Bettis. I went back at him. He said, yeah, they're doing a good job over here, Bob Bettis, mister. Thank you very much. Let me hear your horn. He blew his horn twice.
That's a 10-4 on that.
Put my regular speaker on this radio. That one, 434 miles to the south. He has it up into my speaker. One of the special kind of speakers. You got a certain way you got to fix it on this radio, you hear yourself talk. I can't get that rascal work for nothing.
That was 10-4.
You got it hooked in the PA speaker and everything. The part that go outside of the vehicle, that PA, got that wire running into that microphone too. Jeez. It ain't hard to do it, mister. You say so. It's hard for me. I don't understand it. One of them fancy $100 speakers.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. I gotta take a standby.
That Ranger, I'll explain that to you. Crazy man.
That's it.
That Ranger ought to explain how to do that.
Explain how to do what?
Yeah.
Explain how to do what?
About the mic, the speaker on this radio there.
I don't know. I was watching some of the comments on the chat for the live video. Some of the guys are drooling over this 850.
10-4. Tell him to put a bib on.
You know, one of them said he had a towel to wipe the spit off his mouth. It is an excellent sideband radio. AM is okay, but now on sideband, this radio really comes alive on sideband.
Hey, Ranger, this picture I got in my hand, it's great looking. It's got a knob turned a certain way, and a match breaker on the back of it.
Hey, 21.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, I wasn't in town, but I was watching the live video during old radio night, and there was somebody in here that was running a realistic TRC 431 bass. You remember that?
The only one that could have been was White Dog, but you sold him the realistic bass he's got, right?
No, it wasn't White Dog. I wasn't sure who it was, but he said he was talking on a realistic TRC 431. That was a little 40-channel bass that came out around 1978 or 79, and then I think it was replaced with a TRC 432 around 1981.
I don't know, I'd have to go back and look. It doesn't ring a bell.
Well, I wanted to tell a story about that radio, but I couldn't because I was remote. But I'm going to tell it tonight, even though that guy's not in here. All the way back in 1980, I was 17 years old, and I turned on the CB one night, and there was this guy named Lounger. He's on some of my vintage recordings. He's the one that was getting into it with the devil. And he was talking to this young teenage-sounding female voice off in the distance. And so I went in there and talked to her a little bit. Lounger was too old for her. And so I went in there and talked to her and flirted with her. She sounded like she's about my age, and at some point I piqued her interest, and she asked me to send a photo over there. You know, we didn't have internet, so I literally mailed her a photo along with a little letter, and then she apparently liked what she saw, and she mailed a photo back. And so at some point she invited me over to her house, and I went over there. Mom and Dad were there, and we met, and I think I kissed her once or twice out behind a little shack in the back. And then at some point after summer got out, before my senior year, she called me back up and invited me back over, and I went over there, and Mom and Dad were nowhere to be found, and apparently that was according to her plan, and she was ready to play. So we went back in the bedroom, and we were fooling around, and at some point the phone rang, and she was talking to her friend, and I happened to look behind her, and I noticed there was a TRC 431 sitting there. That was the first time I'd ever seen one in person, so forever burned in my memory is her sitting there wearing next to nothing, talking on the phone, and I had one eye on her, and being the true CBer I am, the other eye was checking out that realistic TRC 431.
Well, let me ask you, did you get first base or second base, or did you just give up and go start talking on the radio?
Well, I got pretty much any base I wanted except the home plate, which was probably a good thing because it was, I don't know if I want to say on the radio, but let's just say there was a biological reason why I didn't want to go there.
10-4.
At least not at that particular week, but maybe a week or two later.
You got to have something home there. But did you get to talk on the radio?
No, but I did a bunch of talking on her.
And more. Yeah, if he's talking to her, she get out.
But in any case, I heard him remember that when he mentioned that radio. I remembered that it brought that dusty memory out of my mind of the first time I saw that radio was in the background of her. You know.
Well, you're gonna have to go back and find out which one it was, and let me try to see who. Well, by the time you do that, you'll know who it is.
Yeah, I don't. It was just a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember exactly.
And more. Bye-bye. 15-4, you gonna put your beams back up later, or what you gonna do?
Yeah, we working on them right now. We still got them down. We got all the elements off of the old boom, and I found out that we got 2 pieces we have to order because they were, the studs were kind of welded in there and we can't get them out, so we're going to have to order 2 pieces. And it'll probably be another week or so before we get them back up.
Good. Well, you're doing a good job that quick.
Yeah, we worked on a little bit today, and we worked yesterday on it, and we got them thrown down pretty quick. I was hoping. I thought I remembered two of those studs that connect the elements to the boom were stripped, and sure enough, they were, and it wasn't anything I can do with them, so we just had to take the elements off, and we have to order 2 of those rings so we can put them back up.
Right, Joe.
Hey, about 21.
Hey, Maverick, how you been, man?
Oh, I'm making it, man. I'm making it. Just was in here scanning the band and heard you in here. I haven't heard you in a long time. Well, I don't get out here much anymore. How you been doing?
God, it's been trying to go to work every day and come back home, you know, and getting harder every day trying to get back and forth, you know, man. There's so much traffic out there. I just get it's a battle. By the time I get to work, I'm about worn out, you know. And but anyway, I've been wondering what happened to you. I ain't been getting out here as much either because I've had different things happen. You know, going on. There's nothing big deal, just extra work or the family, you know, doing things with them and all like that. But it's been so daggum hot. You know, you work all day and you all you want to do is come home and take a shower and collapse, you know.
Roger. Yeah, about the same on this end, man. I've been busy with this and that, and know exactly what you mean, man. The traffic too, man. Shit, here to pass, I guess a month, because the hurricane that was supposed to be coming near Florence, it delayed our plans there near Crockett. I was working on clearing a lot down in Rockville. That's on Rockville Island. And I tell you what, man, way up here where I'm at, and all the way down there, oh my God, the traffic, though. It is a pain in the ass. It sure is.
Oh, I know. I could imagine. I used to live over there, James Island, and that Maybank Highway, you know, going down that way. You probably come down another way and went Main Road and then turned on the Maybank and went on down, you know, and then went, you know, on down that way through Johns Island, you know. But that's always been bad over there. And but I tell you, that's a long, long drive. I bet that'd probably take you about an hour and 45 minutes without any traffic. Oh, I'm not transmitting.
He's talking. He ain't talking. He's coming in here doing it. Yeah. He left out. The rat was passing by here, making it kind of rough. But it ain't no hour and 50 minutes. It's about. It's a good hour. A good hour. You know, hour and 20 minutes to get in there and all that darn traffic.
Yeah, 1040 Maverick. Okay, somebody keeps coming in there. Let me stand by. Good to hear you out there, Maverick. I'll get back with you in a minute. I'm back out.
Roger. Same thing on this end, 21 out. It's cross channel, I think. Catch you later, man. Have a good one. Enjoy the little short on Maverick. Stand by.
All right, Maverick. But great to man. On the wave for the radio. Maverick, that crazy man's waving.
Down folks, I'm waving a hand back to him, but I can't hear him. But tell him I'm waving a hand back to him. Now, my antenna ain't nowhere near as high as it used to be, Roger.
You heard him, man, you crazy man.
Stand by, but I do hear him loud over here. I can't get back to him.
Yeah, Roger, he can hear you good, he just can't get back to you. He's just barefoot over there right now. All right, well, there's a lot of other guys in there. That Slowpoke might be getting back in there. He's pretty close to you. And you might be able to hear 987 out there. Y'all kind of somehow in the Devil's Triangle up that way. I don't know. All right, I'm back out.
Roger. Yeah, I heard him in there a little bit. That time, crazy man, I heard you a little bit. I couldn't make out what you were saying, but I definitely could tell you was and I'm on a whole radio too. It ain't on radio night, is it? I forgot about that. I'm on a whole radio. Even got the FCC sticker on the top of it with the fella's call sign and everything where it come from. And the expiration date for the license and everything, man.
I'm getting
on my license number too.
Yeah, it's old radio night. Well, if the FCC comes by to say, all right, here it is. Here's the guy right here. Go get him there, Temple.
That's right. Let's see. Yep, here you go. It belongs to KBA 6185. And you can go and dig Chief Cummins up if you want to, but I doubt the Ridgeville Fire Department would like it. It's got Ridgeville Fire Department on the top of it also. I inherited this radio, 21, along with a big old box of them down there. I inherited him and I were friends. He was chief of the fire department there in Ridgeville. We was friends for a long time there, and worked with him a little bit and stuff like that back when I was in fire service. And actually his granddaughter inherited them, and she run across me and wanted a couple of them to work. And then we got to talking, especially when I looked at the radios and they had his name on it. Oh, wait a minute, who are you? And she said, well, if Granddaddy knew you like that, you take the rest of them. And that was right nice of her. I sure appreciated that. But this is old Midland 23 channel. With sideband, it's a model 13-892, Roger.
I hear you. Well, that Night Ranger loves those Midlands, so let me stand by, let him get back with you. Hi there, hey Maverick, good to hear you, man. I'll be standing by.
I've got the 40 channel version. That's the 13892 is the 23 channel version. I've got the 40 channel version over here in the rack, which is a 79-892.
Maverick, you hear the Night Ranger?
I didn't make him out quite. I heard him, but I didn't make him out. He's been fired.
Night Ranger, fire down on him again.
Yeah, I said I actually have the 40 channel version of that radio. I have the Midland 79-892, which came out around 1977. I'm not talking on it right now, but I have that radio sitting over in the rack, the 40 channel version of that.
Okay, telephone. I got that. You said it's a 75-892. I'd like to look it up and see what the differences are in between them.
It's a 79-892.
Okay, telephone. Let me write that down here. 79. Damn, I don't want to write on that. They're right up here. 79-892. Yeah, I'd like to look at it and see what the differences are in between them. I know it's all frequency on the sideband. I've got to align it. Just ain't got around to messing with it. And I got a little carried away with the audio on it. And I had no modulating, but I think I got it back down there about where it's supposed to be. I'm on a stop mode. It's actually appears something like I need to put the darn Midland mic on here. I just dropped the wrong one out the box when I put it up here earlier tonight, Roger.
Well, it sounds good, especially for a stock mic.
Roger, I appreciate it.
Yeah, let me grab the darn. I need to look over here in that box. I've got the right mic for it. I've got a Pierce Simpson radio that I inherited in that bunch, too. And this is the mic for it. The mics look alike, you know. And I grabbed up the wrong one. So, I'd like to have the right mic on the right radio. But the problem I got with the old Pierce Simpson, I haven't even tested it yet. I haven't even turned it on. And I've had these things for months. But, I can't find the right power cord for the Pierce Simpson. It's a 2-prong power cord. I'd love to find one for it. I don't want to, I mean, I could always take that out and put something else in there, you know, but, you know, I inherited the radios, the old radios, and I'd kind of like to keep them, you know, somewhat stock, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like to carve them up unless I absolutely have to.
Let me do down here in this box and find the Midland mic. I want to make sure it's working anyway. I'll be right back. And when that deer goes out there.
Well, I'm looking at where he was at. I barely had a copy. I mean, I can hear him, but I'm coming out of Jamestown.
Hey, red light.
Yes, sir.
He's up there around St. George somewhere. Isn't that where you at there, Maverick? Every time I key, I hear Roger beeps. All right, I'm back out. Hey, go over there and look at that monster. You got that microphone or not? Watching this, like creature from the Black Lagoon movie. The kind of bigger dumps gasoline all on him. They set him on fire. He falls in the water and turns the boat over on him. I tell you what, and they shot him a couple of times. He's still alive. Yeah, I mean, he was burning, and he just fell face first in the water, but I think they got him now. They got him now, you know, but anyway. All right, well, yeah, you talked to Maverick before, hadn't you there, Red Light?
Yeah, I talked to him on the base there. I didn't know if I could reach him with this old mud duck pickup truck or not. How about you, Maverick? You got a copy on this old mud duck truck?
I got a copy, Rick.
Well, shit, let me grab another gear. How about you, Maverick? You got a copy?
987 can hear you, Red Light.
Yeah, that's pretty good on the island there. I'm right through Macedonia now, you know. Just about to Macedonia.
So all we must over back there. Pass over on my radio there. But
410 crazy. I got a good grip on you too, man.
I'm talking over the Wimble, you know, Cobra mic radio, 40 channels. The start mic. Start radio.
Yeah, 410. Well, that's working. Y'all still doing on radio 921?
Yeah, Roger. Everywhere you say. Gotcha.
Well, I'm talking, I don't know, crazy man talking on top of me now, but got a Connex 33 AC with a competition 5 pill 515 special, and the old hunting truck getting on up.
Doing a good job. Me, I might key up for you. You got a strong radio in that truck.
That's just a little mud duck radio.
They ain't a bullfrog and 2 ducks now. That's a different radio I got.
Well, that one sounds clear. Sounds loud. I mean, other than your code, I can tell you got a code, but it sounds good and loud.
Yeah, I hear you, Roger. Got a button up on the where you plug it into the radio. You plug it in and the radio gets it up much deeper.
Roger.
14 Roger, deep and voice, you sound like it.
How about you, Maverick? Hey, Maverick, you got a copy on this radio?
Best you guys in the box over there. Who's that in there calling Maverick? Yeah, I was digging in the box for a microphone. Go ahead for Maverick.
There's be that red light there. I was in this old mobile here. In between Macedonia and Moss Corner there, 410.
Hey, Roger, got you in and out. I I can tell you're moving, but definitely got a copy on you there, Red Light. How you been doing, man?
Yeah, man. Everything 10-8 straight on this end. Hope everything's good to go on your side, brother.
Oh yeah, just trying to make it, you know, just trying to make it, get out there, work a little bit, and then do my own thing there a little bit. Try to keep the grass cut, Roger.
Yeah, I lost him there. I got in a bunch of noise, power lines and all now.
Yeah, he said he's doing good, doing everything he can. Just trying to keep the grass cut, Roger.
I know that's right.
Hey, 21, ain't nothing changed, did it, with my audio? I still sound okay? Yeah, Roger, to me it does. Therefore, yeah, I got the Midland mic on here now. I got two of them. One of them don't act right. I want to make sure I got the right one. Yeah, that's better now. I got the Midland mic on the Midland radio, Roger. Yeah, there won't be any incompatibility issues there. Well, I think the pair Simpson, well, I know the pair Simpson's wired the same, but I think they might have had something to do with each other. I'm not sure about that. I want to get that old pair Simpson on the radio, on the air. It's a 40 channel, but it's only AM, though, Roger. 410.
Is that the Jaguar? Is that what that is? The Pierce Simpson? Is that a Jaguar?
Negative is a Tiger 40 mobile, Roger.
Oh, I thought you said it was a bass.
Negative. None of these radios here that I got in this box were basses. All of them was mobiles. Now, I'll tell you what I got in that box I find right unique. I'm gonna fix the damn thing, too. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's doing something funky. I can't even remember now what it was. But it's just because it's unique, I'm gonna fix it. It ain't worth nothing. But it is a 3-channel Radio Shack, or realistic, mobile. And it's a tiny little old thing. But I think it's unique there, Roger.
I think I've seen that one. It's got like it's got like maybe a volume and a squelch and maybe a little flip switch in the middle. It says ABC. Has it got wood grain on it?
That's the one. That's the one. Volume on the right, squelch on the left, and a slide switch like you said with A, B, and C in the middle, wood grain, and no mic plug. The mic is hardwired into it.
I remember that. That was out around 1975 and 1976, I think. I remember seeing that in the catalog back when I was about 11 or 12 years old.
And it's plastic. The housing, the whole thing is plastic. But I saw that. I said, that's a unique little radio. So I hooked it up, and something's wrong with it. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to fix it up there and get it going again. I'd like to dig around with it a little bit.
That's a classic. You know, I didn't hear too many on the air, but that's a classic.
And yeah, I can't find any paperwork on nothing on the internet for it other than pictures. You can find pictures of it and maybe one on eBay or something for sale. But it's a little 23-channel miniature radio, a little tiny little radio. It's about the size of a Uniden Pro 510 XL in comparison. And it's 23 channels. And it's a Royal Sound. That's the brand of it, a Royal Sound. It's a neat looking little radio. And it works excellent. But I can't find any kind of documentation on it.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah, I don't think it was a very popular radio. I got two of the old, what are those darn things called? Little 2-pill amplifiers. I think it was made by DNA. Let me look at them and see what the name is.
I don't know if DNA ever made a solid state. But they definitely made a bunch of tube ones, mobiles and basses.
Oh, that ranger's was rubbing, sound like a cricket chirping over there.
What, on mine?
Yeah, you're getting excited when he said DNA.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got all the DNAs I want at this point, but yeah, there's somebody that's advertising a Bandit 2, I think in Valdez, North Carolina. It's on Craigslist. I looked at it and I said, nah.
I'm talking on a DNA now. I'm on the DNA Phantom 10 tube. The little mobiles I'm talking about are Brutes. I believe that was made by DNA. But
Mako.
you know, the remote control units. One of them is missing a pill, and the other one, I hooked it up, and all it does is chatter when you key it up, and I haven't gone any farther with it.
Oh, that's Telco. Telco. Is it silver?
Chrome and aluminum.
Yeah, and it's got like an optical plug on there where you plug that little control head into it. I got a couple of them.
It's a Telco, you think?
Yeah, Telco Brute. Yeah, that's an amp. I had that amp back in the 70s. And I had a realistic 24C radio. That's what I ran back then with a, I don't remember if it, a Turn Plus 3, JB or whatever power mic. But yes, Telco Brute. And you can also get the preamp to go with it, and it's separate. And it's silver, you know, chrome-like stuff there. But the control head, it's got like a 5 or 6 prong plug that plugs into that side of that amp.
The control head or the cables. I looked them up on the internet, you know, and it said if you just apply power to it and hook the radio up, then it's on all the time. As long as you got the power hooked up, then it's on all the time, which is so. I did that. It is definitely because the relay goes to chattering when you key it up, but I never went any farther than that. From what I read, that shouldn't cause it to do that. It should work fine without the control head. It's just on all the time, you know. But I got to get in there and check it out, see what's going on with it. And then I got another one there. Like I said, it's missing. I don't know. I get the first one figured out. Then I might mess with that one that's missing a pill and take that one out and put 2 Motorola 455s in there or something, you know.
Well, the way those pills were on mine, or where they are on mine, I got it in behind me over here somewhere. It's got like a bolt that comes out of the top of it. It looks like on a back of an older amplifier, you know, you could turn that with a pair of pliers. When I first got that, that's what I thought it was, you know. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't try to turn it. But that's the way they're in there. It looked like it's got a stem that's threaded that sticks up.
One of them that I have, and the other one's got standard type, you know, flange mount. What the difference is, flange mount is what you used to, you know, like a 2879, 2290, 455. 454, all of those are flange mount, but that's a stud mount is what you're talking about, and that's what the 455A is. That Motorola 455, you could get it in the A version, which is a stud mount, that's the old version, or you could get it in the flange mount, and that's what I'll get, because the one I think that's missing a transistor is a stud mount type, and that's why I was thinking just get the 455As and put that in there and make whatever adjustments I have to, but I don't think that I really have to make any.
Yeah, it's a good amp. I mean, it took a lot of beating from me. I talked all over the place with the one I had. I had it in a 76 Chevrolet van, like in 1978, and that's what I had in there. And so it was a good, still got it. I loaned it out to a guy a while back, a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and he used it a little while, and I got it back, and I got it in here somewhere. And but yeah, that's the old time Telco brute there. I was thinking you was talking about Mako had a brute mobile linear tube, but it's tube type. It's I think it's got 8950s or M2057s in it, but that one there is a 2 transistor box, and it surprised you how loud it is and what power it'll put out.
Roger. Yeah, I'd like to get them up and running. There's also right on the side of the amplifier. I didn't even have to look it up to find this out. I found out that it that's why I kind of want to hold on to them. They were like very well built little amplifiers.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap made. They're made good. They were heavy duty. Kind of like the old 23 channel radios, you know. You see those big old transformers and, you know, inside, and everything looks heavy duty like that. And you see the newer ones, you know, that just stick a little bitty tiny thing in there, you know, and it does the same thing, but it just couldn't be as good. I just don't see how. But it couldn't handle the strain, you know, like the old ones, and that's the way that was made. It's made last. I know I keyed down on it many times and just left it on. So, but it's good. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. There's somebody else trying to get in there, Maverick. Come back out.
Hello, all right, 21. Appreciate the information on them things too, man. I'll let you know how they turn out when they turn out. Old Maverick standing by.
No white dog on the old radio night.
Hey, Sundance. Hello, Sundance. I want to get you on the old radio night, so I got you on there, Roger. Alright. We'll have to get an Night Ranger over there to fix your antenna for you. I don't know why you hadn't done it already, but anyway. It's not like he goes to work, he stays home all day. I bet he gets tired of watching, what do you call it, Steve Wilco? What's that, Jerry Springer? Oh man, I get tired of watching that mess.
I never watched that stuff.
Hello.
Hello.
261. That's right.
Come on in there, Star Patrol. Tell us what you're talking on.
We're talking on the deck. Deck with a handheld D104.
410.
Football game you watching, 61?
I'm switching right now. Right now I'm looking at BYU and Washington. I was looking at Notre Dame and Stanford at first, Roger.
The first two, Roger. They're watching that game up down 82 there. We shoot that. I think Hancock can go get them behind whipped.
Hey, 10 more than that. Yeah, simply that's all they're doing is get their behind whooped.
Yeah, these guys here, they look like they're too young to be out there on the field.
Yeah. Hey, you think they come out of grammar school instead of high school?
Got that right. The quarterback, he looks so damn young, it looks like he don't need to be out there.
10 more, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, some of them, they're real smart, so they go to school and they just don't look their size. That's how the way things go.
that was about that. Gamecock got down on the 3. I got that on the first quarter. They getting that on the second quarter. Now it's going in the third quarter. They're taking a break now. The other team got 24.
Hey, Tim, yeah, 24-3. Half time.
And have your son all over here watching it because they ain't got no cable over there.
Sounds like a real good deal. You got a little company watching the ball game and you chit-chatting on the radio.
So what about them people out on that porch? Let them sit out there. I'm sitting in the house and they can't hear. I can't hear them. I ain't worried about it. They can't hear me now because I'm going to crank it.
I'm barefooted over here also on this old deck.
Someone talking there's going over 40 channel. Going the house is out. They told me, he said, well, it only got 3 channel knobs on it. That put your speed there. He fixed it up and gave it to me.
You said what? That what? 40 channel?
Yeah. I get Cobra 21 on it. Got a button right over the top of where you plug in the microphone, you match it in, the red light comes on.
Yeah, 18 volt, okay. Alright. Well, real good deal in transmitting though. Sound good.
Well, everybody been telling me it sounds real good. Sounds better than that outfit.
You know, on some of them you just got to put the right microphone on with it and it'll do the job.
Got the old horn hooked up to it. Break a minute.
Go ahead, break a minute.
Maverick, you still in there? Hello. Alright, if you can watch this video gate, I'm going to show you that amplifier. I got it sitting on top of my radio right now. There's one side of it right there. There's the remote control where you plug it in right there. There's my name there. There's where you plug the antenna in. There's the 2 transistors that bolt in right there. And there's the other side right there. 165 watts max. It's AM, FM, SSB, and CW. And this is what I got to tell 15 for. I'm just setting it on top of my radio. I'm not using it because it says it's illegal on 11 meters from frequency 2 to 30 megahertz. So I wanted 15.4 to know that's right there, legal, right there. But I'm just showing it. I don't have it hooked up. But there it is, right there. So I'm not lying. I've got one. There's my original amplifier I had in my truck.
Give me the information when I pull up that video gate. I ain't looked at video gates in so long. I'm lost track of everybody. Yeah. Well, we know that we don't use them on 11 meters, but I'm interested in them because I'm a ham, and I'll use them on 10 meters and 12 meters and such, and they work excellent there. Give me that, tell me where to find that video gate. It's on YouTube, ain't it?
Yeah, just get on YouTube and put on there Old Radio Night, and it'll be the day's date. It's on there right now live. Yeah, I always have that disclaimer for 15.4 because I want him to know that, you know, everything is, what you call it, transparent. Everything is transparent over here.
Roger. Yeah, I'll check it out in a little bit. I can't do it right now. But it's running time to do this laptop. Now I got the radio sitting up here, so I can't set either one of them up here. I got to put my radio up there in the rack, man. I got it sitting down here. And, but I'm going to look at it in a little bit. I'll look at that thing for a little while before I go to sleep. I get on there and dick around on YouTube a little bit every night before I go to sleep, Roger.
Yeah, well, it'll be Dirty Diaper 21, and then look on their Old Radio Night. with today's date there. It'll say old radio night, Johnson Messenger 223. Johnson Messenger 223. Yeah, some dumbass, person drilled 2 holes in the front. I think they got a switch. Well, I know what it is. They got a switch coming out of the front of the where the knob is at and the meter to, have some other channels. I don't know which ones. I haven't never put a frequency meter on it. There again, I always want to be legal. I'm scared to turn that. I might talk on a channel and somebody hear me, and I'll get in trouble. And then it's got a switch on the back. I think it's for power, and I'm scared to turn that on too. There, come on.
Roger. You talking on the Johnson 123 tonight?
Yeah, I'm talking on the Johnson 223 right now, tube type with a D104 on it.
Oh, the 223, okay. Let me think now. Ain't that the precursor to the 250? I think I may be mistaken. I've got a Johnson 250 and it's transistor. I think that it was the one made after the 223 and they look alike, except for color and stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like this radio here basically, except the 250 got several of them. It's sloped backwards, but this is the last tube type base station that I know of as far as CB went that Johnson had. After that, they came out with the 250 50th anniversary edition, and it was solid state, and it had that desk mic, looked like a Turner Plus 3 you could get on it as an option, and it was powered by the radio, and that's a good deal too. And this one here, it came with a desk mic, but it was just a regular non-powered desk mic, and this has just got a squelch and a volume and a channel selector on it, and it's basically like I was talking about earlier. They came out with it. It's a 223 Messenger 2 was the blackface Johnson. They needed to get a 23-channel radio on the market, so they took the Messenger 2, turned it sideways on the chassis, and did their crystal synthesis and meters and channel selection on the side of it. And if you look at it, it's the same radio as the blackface Johnson there, chassis and all.
That's pretty damn neat to know that. I sure didn't know that. And that confirms the radio that I was thinking about, because I know it was the very last one, tube type, that they put on the market. And that's exactly what I have is the 50th anniversary. Now, you got that radio before 21. I've done old radio. I don't know, a year or two ago, something like that. Dude, I come in here with that thing. Now, I don't have the mic that you're talking about that came with it. I think it exactly was what you're talking about, a Turner Plus 3. But it was branded with Johnson on it, and it was brown or gold or something like that, a nice radio. And I do not have that mic. I bought the radio from a gentleman off of Facebook. He had put it on one of those sites on there, and I think he wanted $45 for it, free shipping. I said, shit, how can I go wrong? He said it worked. He got the pictures of it there, it looked beautiful. So I sent him the money on PayPal, he sent me the radio, and I digged around there and wired up a stop mic for it. Took a little work to get the wiring right, because just like you said, it powered the power mic. So you got you have DC voltage in that damn mic connector. You've got voltage in there.
when you get to messing around with D104s and stuff, it gets a little tricky. Now, I wired a D104 to it. I don't know what I talked to you on old radio night. It might have been D104, it might have been the stop mic. I can't remember now. But the D104, you don't want to set it on top of the radio, see? On account of if the screws on the bottom of that D104 touch the cabinet, they'll arc. It's got voltage on it. So that's why I didn't keep the D104 on it very often. I like to use a stop mic on it. I want to get one of the mics like you're talking about, the original mic for it. That's a nice radio though. Alright, I done hogged up the frequency long enough. Radio hog, old Maverick standing by, radio hog done. Yeah. Oink, oink, oink. Go ahead, white dog. Is that white dog? That was me. Told you, okay.
That's crazy dog.
White dog in here? I need to talk to white dog if he's in here. Yeah, come on, Maverick. Maverick, he's in there hollering for you. I can't hear him. How about it, Maverick? Hang on. Hey, stand by a minute, Maverick. Go ahead there, white dog. All right, Maverick, I'm out here. Hey, what's going on, man? I ain't heard you in a long time. I still got your radio sitting over here. We need to get together sometime. Yeah, man, sounds good. I just can't drive that far. I'm not going to drive to Cartersville. And he said your name. I said, I better let you know. Because I ain't heard from you. I don't have your phone number anymore. I lost it. And it's here, though. All right, man. Well, I'll definitely get back to you. What channel are you on all the time? I'm not on this a whole lot. Anyway, I'm not out here a whole lot. If I do get out here, I'm usually on 14. That's what we got local there. I don't know if you're welcome on there or not, though. You know what I mean. I'm not sure about that. I don't run that channel. I just frequent it because that's the active channel here. I don't want to stir up nothing there on that, but I hardly ever get on the CB. But I can give you my phone number again if you ain't got mine no more, because I've lost yours. I think I still have two numbers for you. Okay, well, one of them, the old landline, I cut the landline off. I wasn't paying no darn, that was somebody else that lived here. And, well, I'm not paying no darn $90 a month for a landline. So I cut that one off. The 3642 is cut off. I'm on the zero. Hey, Maverick. I'll definitely hook up with you sooner or later, and we'll figure out where we can meet. White dog, are you having a hard time hearing him? No, I lost him. Yeah, Roger. I think some of the time he's talking over the top of him there. He said the 3-something number is no good anymore. It's the other one, the 02 or something like that. All right, I'll have to go through my phone. I'll go through my phone and check it out. You find all that's the numbers with me, tell him okay, I'll stand by. I'm gonna go get another Bud Light and I'll be back 21 now. Appreciate it. You 10-5 the number for him there. Yeah, I cut that darn landline off, man. It was too damn high. And it's not even fiber optic, and we have fiber optic on the way. You know, they're running it down this road. So we're another month, maybe even 3 months away from having it. So I just, man, that shit, I'm not paying $90 a month a telephone service that gets messed up every time it rains real bad, and no long distance included, no cable or satellite or nothing included, no internet, nothing. I told them where they should put that. I hear you.
Hey guys, 92, I was talking to him yesterday. He told me to tell you guys hello.
Where was he at? Where was he at?
Yeah, he was in his diesel truck.
10-4. Well, did a slowpoke ever get back in there? Oh, they ain't ready yet. How about that 15-4? Did he fall off? Might be still holding on to that pedal.
No, I'm still here. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, it's checking. Oh, yeah, he is still holding on to that pedal. I know Night Ranger's still in there.
Yeah, I'm here. I had to go check on the dog, but I'm still around.
410. There's a trick on me today. Well, it's great treatment, hope that's listen, damn. I know I had the reason I know that death on that important. Nope, I look back up in the radio. That was his signal, but nope, I went back at him. I guess Slammer went to sleep. Oh yeah, no, it's hard to keep being dead. I think I got a nail or something in my tire, and the reason I didn't know that it was flat, or going flat, is it was on the front, and I put it on the back. That's when it went flat, and I didn't even notice it. So, it's a slow leak. So I'll probably jack it. I blew the tire up tonight with air. I couldn't hear anything leaking, but I know it's going down. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it. I know that Gerald's don't like you to plug tires, but I've been doing that for years, and everybody else too. And they used to make one that was no good back in the day. It was you put this like a rubber plug looking thing in this gun, looked like a little gun, and you ream the hole out and you jam this thing down in there. And all it did was hold itself in there by friction with like a lot of little ridges and all. It was spring open, like I don't know how to explain it, rings around it. But when the tire wore down, on down to the bone, it'd blow out of there. There wasn't nothing else for it to hold on to. That was a catastrophic failure right there. But these that you get this real sticky, man, they stay in there. Round and sticky, what you do, you take your tire off and you run a ball or something down there and scratch it off and put that thing on there. That damn thing ain't coming off. Yeah, I don't take the tire off. I just jack it up and turn the tire until I can get to it. At the back of the truck is where it's going to be at now. And then take the reamer and run in there, and then stick that thing in there and pull it back out and cut it off flush with the top of the tire, and it'll be in there forever. Sound like one of them patches. Well, yeah, they put those on the inside. Gerald's wants to put a boot on the inside. That's good and all like that, but then they have to dismount the tire, and you lose your balance. You know, the balance is gone. So I don't want to go through all that. I don't have to rebalance it, and I got to do it tomorrow because I gotta go first thing to Trident Monday morning up there and go up there real quick. I hear you. Yeah, a bunch of stuff that you don't know what you do. Bunch of little girls know them rivers. The big one, I don't know what they do. Big what? The patch on the inside of it. Oh yeah, they all do that. They won't plug any tire gerals. They got to put a boot on the inside.
Well, I call them hot pressure, round one.
Right, okay. Well, they used to years ago. I've worked on tires my whole life. Back in the 70s, early 70s, you put this thing on there, you got this buffing wheel, and you went in there and you buffed it down till you got the good rubber. And then you took this thing and put it on there, and you took a match and put on it and set it on fire. And it melted this daggum thing onto there.
Same thing I used to do up at GX.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Piece in tire and set it on fire and turn around, blow it up and put patch on it, and it sticks like crazy.
Yeah, you have to buff the tire down and make sure there's no dirt or grease or anything. It won't stick if you do. But you get it on there, that kind of thing, that's the best right there. But it's dangerous because somebody got burned one time, so they had to quit doing it, you know. Yeah, man, used to do it on bicycle liner tubes and all.
I guarantee, yes sir. Stick that match to it and watch it burn. Yeah, the kid came with a little metal can.
Yeah. And sometimes it had a monkey on it holding on a tire.
Yeah, it's called a hot patch. Yep. That's exactly what it was.
I think that's the best kind right there. What do you call it, vulcanizing? What's that breaking up sound? Who's that? Wine key. I must be keying on my own self, because I'm keying and I see the needle fly over in the corner. I don't know. Maybe I'm keying. I don't know. My other hand, I'm holding it. I thought I had another D104. I was keying on my own self.
That me over here with those two D04s. Make it back in there yet?
Okay, that's Maverick.
No, I wasn't keying on you.
No, I said that's you. No, I said not. I was not saying you. I was just saying the way this radio is that when I unkey, it does different than my other radio. It goes over in the corner and goes back.
You must be hitting a repeater.
I know, mine's in my pants.
Wait, hold on. Your Peter, I said a repeater, not your Peter.
Oh, okay. Glad you clarified that.
Yeah, we ain't hitting no Peters over here. We hit repeaters, but we don't hit Peters. That's strong. What's wrong out there doing that noise? I'm doing what? I think you're breaking up for a bit. Yeah, it could be. Ain't no telling with this old thing. I don't run it so, you know, it'll stay right there. Breaking up until you start talking on it, then it'll clear up. Okay. I want you. Hey, dog.
Way lucky.
Hey, I think I'm gonna call it quit. I'm gonna go inside there, doggone. I had a real long day. Anyway, we enjoyed it as always. Y'all have a good night.
I'm glad you get out from underneath my antenna there, Lucky. All right, Lucky, have a good one yourself. You call me crazy man, boy. Bye.
See you later, Lucky.
10-4. Y'all have a good one. Take care. We enjoyed it as always.
You and my guy, you got my needle over here buried. Lucky, get on out of there. You ain't had no long day.
1978, 82, 1961, you going back to work yet?
No, not yet.
Roger, how's your back doing? I'll tell you what, man, you just don't know. I haven't never had it done. I heard, though, that crazy man can rub your back for you.
Well, no crazy man rubbing my back.
Tripping is rascal.
Ain't gonna do it for free now.
Tripping with a sledgehammer, I run across his back. Oops, I got the sledgehammer, 20 pounds.
Yeah, well, the back doing pretty good. It's just the nerve go down the leg, the sciatic nerve. That's where the problem's starting at now.
Hey, Star Patrol. Star Patrol.
Yeah, come on.
You gonna laugh when I tell you this now, but you gonna lay in bed be hurting one night, and you gonna try this now. I know it works because I did it. I've had that same thing. I've had operations and all for that, but get you a tennis shoe, an older tennis shoe, or some kind of shoe that you can put on your foot, that you can lace up real good, and get you a cord or a small rope. It don't have to be no big rope, something, that won't pop, and get you one of them concrete weights like your kid lifts, like a 5-pound weight. That's a 2-pound or a 5-pound, and tie that daggum string and rope around that tennis shoe, and then tie that weight onto that string, and lay in bed with that thing hanging over the back of the foot of the bed with you laying on your back. And I'm telling you, man, that'll help you right there. That'll help pull your back in alignment. It don't sound like it'll work, but it will.
Yeah, because what it do, it pulls the spine back, like gravity. That's what it's doing. It's like hanging upside down, like what they call that teeter hang up. It's kind of doing the same effect.
Yeah, I got one of them, but it's not by him. It's when those things first started coming out, I went over there and bought one from Mount Pleasant. I think I paid like $250 for it. I still got it, but the thing hurts my ankles, the front of my feet, where my ankles, the front there, that thing hurts, man, when you're hanging from it. But I had to put on like about 4 pairs of socks and put a towel down there, and you crank down on that click, 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 and you mash it down against your feet. And then you don't have to hang up and down. You just can adjust it to where you just lay back on a certain angle, and then you get used to it. You can hang upside down, but you don't have to. Just enough to take the pressure off your back and have some gravity effect. But I have done that with that tennis shoe thing, and it's a temporary fix there to help separate your what you call it there, your vertebrae, so that the disc can regenerate and kind of move around. All it takes is that little thing on the back of them that rub together to get out of alignment. Have you ever hurt your back before?
Yeah, back in 1990, I had a head-on collision that kind of screwed me up, kind of made me twist myself a little bit, and ever since then, that was the problem.
Yeah, well, once you kind of move those things, I call them fletchets. I don't know what they call them, I forgot, but they're like 2 thumbs that rub together, and they kind of keep your back. They go straight up your backbone, and they're on every vertebrae, straight up the back. Those things will get stuck, and it causes a nerve to start hurting, and actually it's cutting off of different things to your muscles. Your muscles aren't getting what they need. And but if you do that shoe thing, but if so that I would try that. But you'll lay awake tonight and your back will be hurting. He said that 21, he's full of crap. But you know what? I might just try that. then see you say 21, that was great. But I'm still not going to tell you I did it.
Yeah, when you're in pain, you try all kinds of things, you know, to try to relieve it. And you find something that works, you go back to it.
Therefore.
Hey, stop before you jewelry ready to try all that stuff. Hey, you be ready to buy another wardrobe, because he gonna make you taller. You gonna have to buy all new pants.
Yeah, we was at 1 centimeter longer.
You got that right.
You're going to have to get one Herman Munster shoe and one regular shoe.
It's on the right side, so the whole right side I'll be high on one side. Then I have to get them old platform shoes again.
You had to get the kind like you and Elton John used to wear. Put just one of them on.
Yeah, give me one of them Elton John shoes, and then I can be stepping high.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. I had a pair of them back in the early 70s. I said, where the hell did I get these damn things? You know, disco, you know. I wouldn't even look at one of them now. You know, we're just trying to keep up with the brothers, you know.
You trying to keep up.
Them Amplifiers right over there on that side of you there. 61 over there across the street from Walmart. It was right close on the corner there. That's great. You guys got a Amplifier. You guys go in and type of chairs. You sit in there. That's going to run all through you, all your pensioners.
This facet joint, I said fletch it. That's the outlawed bullet that they had in Vietnam that they fired out of there. It was like a dart. They outlawed them because the thing would be tumbling and hit you and rip you wide open. That was a fletch it. 15-4 probably tell you more about that.
Sounds like an effective round to me.
That's something I can't understand. You can drop an atomic bomb on somebody in war, but you gotta be careful of the other stuff you do. You can't shoot them with a bullet that might be flipping around and hit the bone and run up down their bone and bust them open. The way those things will work, you like shoot them in your leg and that thing would tumble around and fly them down your arm, down your leg, bust you wide open. And that's inhumane. You're not supposed to shoot anybody, you know, with a 50 caliber. I know that's a lie. They do it all the time. BMG 50 caliber, those sniper rifles. Shit.
What, you been watching Dirty Diaper, the Dirty Laundry News?
No, I just, I watch those guys, those Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifles hit somebody like about 5 miles away, man. Pick them up off the ground and knock them through a concrete block wall, you know.
What's wrong with doing that to them?
Well, that's not humane, you know, that's not humane. But they can let you step on something, you know, and go through your foot and, or blow you up, you know, blow your leg off. That's all right, you know. Shit, that's crazy.
See, man, I think it's more humane if you just, you know, you make it effective. You don't shoot to injure or hurt somebody. God forbid hurting somebody. You shouldn't have to kill nobody, but if you have to kill somebody, then that's the object. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to hurt nobody and mess them up for the rest of their life. That's worse than killing them, you know. You shoot a fella and he can't walk never again, or something like that, you know, or you mess his brain up, but he still got to live the rest of his life. That's inhumane. If you have to do that, then it's more humane to be effective, Roger.
Yeah, well, in wartime, in a war, you want to wound them. You want to wound them because then it takes more people to take care of them. You're trying to cut down on the amount of people, you know, that you have there. So you wound somebody, they got to take care of him. So that takes somebody else to help him. You know, you just shoot them dead. Well, they won't leave him right there. They might come back for him later. They may not. But that's the idea about that. They'd rather wound him, you know, if it's head on and you got, you know, one-on-one, you're going to kill him, you know. But you don't ever pull a gun unless you mean to kill somebody. So that's the way that is. You better know that when you do it. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that subject. I don't know how Crazy Man got me on that subject.
Because he's a crazy son of a bitch, that's why. But on that subject, and I'll get off of it too, you know, I'm ex-public safety myself, and well, the way we was trained, you don't shoot to injure, you shoot to kill. And if you draw the weapon, you better damn sight be ready to do it. You know, that's just the way it is. A dead man can't sue you. His family can, but they can't sue you as hard as a injured man can. That's another thing that you have to look at in certain positions. But enough said about that. That's all negative vibes, man. We ain't talking about killing nobody no more. I'm going to get another Bud Light, and I'll be back to see what we got going on in the funny paper there.
10-4.
Dilly dilly.
Right, dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
You can't holler that at the golf course in Augusta. Specifically says you cannot holler dilly dilly at the Augusta Nationals.
Why not?
I don't know, that's one of the, you gotta, that's one of the rules. That there's several things, there's a list of stuff you can't holler. And dilly dilly, that's one of them. I don't know why.
Say it on TV all the time.
Yeah, but at the, you know, when somebody's out there playing golf just before he gets ready to strike the ball, you know, and he's swinging dilly dilly, oh no, he missed it, you know.
Oh, I thought they didn't have that kind of beer at Augusta National.
Yeah, see, 24/7 on the internet, they said that was the facet joint. I might have already said that. I said Fletcher, the facet joint on your back. That's what, I know mine was like that. I had L5 and L4 operated on. They didn't cut it out or fuse it or nothing, but once that thing it gets out of alignment, it's a problem. They'll get hung up, and you got to do all kind of twisting and turning, you know. But anyway, that's the way it is.
Hey, 21, flaccid is a different kind of problem.
Yeah, that's whenever, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Crazy Man, they're making a new, it's generic now for that.
Really?
Yeah. Don't cost you $50 a pill anymore. There's a place out in North Carolina, I think you can get them for $5 a pill now.
I don't think no pill tells them to take it.
Well, this is what your girlfriend tells you to take it.
I get rid of that girlfriend, huh? What you trying to do, get him on Viagra's?
Yeah. I don't know what they call it now, so the patent ran out, so they're making a generic form of it, you know.
Get him on some Viagra's. I don't need all that. They don't want my little town going one once if she wants it, she may go see somebody else. That's Crazy Man in there. Now, son, that's me.
Well, that's when you look at her and you say, that's odd. I never had that problem with anybody else.
That's right. It must be a woman. She might have something
That fuel can't kill the smell of. What they say, smell like perfume, you better back off.
I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, but one time I heard this woman say, I bet you have a little something. I said, I would for you.
10-4. Should have asked her what her girlfriend had for her.
Keep going.
Unless she had a TRC 451 in the room.
Oh man. Hey, that's CB Viagra.
No, that was different. That was yeah. You know, looking back on that, you know, when you're 17, you don't think about things, you know, as truth, you know, consequences. When she invited me over, see, she didn't tell me her parents were there. I didn't find that out till I got there. But you know, but her father had quite a temper. If he'd have come home while I was over there with her and found us both mostly naked on the bed, that'd have been bad news for me, even though she invited me over.
Was it his radio?
It was in her bedroom. She had one of those beds that had like the little kind of the bookcase and shelves for a headboard, and it was sitting on top of the, you know, the headboard for her bed.
Yeah, Randy, I think you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't have been, you wouldn't have time to listen to no explanation.
Yeah, so yeah, looking back on it now, I'm like, I'm glad he didn't catch me. But see, she just called me up. It was the beginning of the summer, and she called me up the second time, you know, and asked me to come over, and I said okay. And then I got there, and that's when I found out Mom and Dad weren't around, and that was, you know, she planned it that way.
Should have done like Cowboy did that time. Get in there and with angel eyes and fall on the microphone in the bed and let it stay on all night.
Got to switch over to the wrong side. Let's shut my radio over. I didn't want to listen to all that.
Well, it didn't last. You know, that I only went over there twice, and then at some point she had to go off somewhere. I don't remember if she moved or what it was. She went out of town for something, so, and I never heard her on the CB anymore. Her handle was Midnight Stallion, I think it was her CB handle.
Midnight Stallion, okay. I'd be kind of scared of that handle now if I was trying to see about her.
Well, you know, I was 17, she was 16, and you know, yeah, it was just one of those twice encounters, and then it was over with.
Well, now you might get like Caitlyn Jenner with a handle like that.
Well, that wasn't as prevalent back then, or even if it was, I was too naive to know about such things. You know, talking about being naive, you know, there's a couple of things I've remembered as adult, you know, that happened, and I was so naive at the time that it didn't even dawn on me what was going on at the time, you know, because I was so young. Like, I just turned 17 years old about the same time, and my birthday's in April, so it was like May. It was the end of my 11th grade year, and I was leaving the classroom, and there was this young teacher. She was fresh out of college. It was her first year teaching, and she said, Night Ranger, of course, called my real name. She said, Night Ranger, can you step back in my office a minute? And this was as I was leaving the class, and the other students left the class. Now it's just she and I, and she said, you know, Night Ranger, she said, I like to smoke pot and take Quaaludes and party. She said, if you know where any good parties are on the weekend, give me a call. My number's in the book. And I said, okay. And I turned and walked out the door. I was so naive. It just turning 17, it didn't even dawn on me that she was asking for a date. I thought she just wanted to know where a good party was. It wasn't until years later in my 20s that I heard some story on the news about some teacher fooling around with some high school student, and then I remembered that woman saying that. I was like, holy crap, she was asking for a date, and I was so naive it went right over my head. And then I remembered about the same time, she had said that her car was in the shop, and she asked me if I'd give her a ride home to her apartment, and I said okay, and took her back. And then some other guy chimed in about that time and said, hey, can you give me a ride home? So if she had something in mind, it foiled her plans, because it wound up being the three of us instead of the two of us.
But if she'd have had a realistic radio, it'd have been on.
No, I'd have turned her down. If I'd have got back and you know, she'd have tried to put it on me, I'd have turned her down. She wasn't as pretty as the girls I was dating, so I'd have said no.
Well, all it takes is a light switch, man.
I must admit, I was spoiled as a young man. By the time I hit 17, there were some pretty girls coming after me, and she was okay, but she wasn't any competition for the little sweethearts that I was messing with at that time.
Can't be experienced, man. Of course, you'd have been scarred for life.
I don't know. Her butt was too big. You know, when you're that young, you wanted, you know, at least I did. I wanted to find the cream of the crop. And she had her butt looked like somebody stuffed a watermelon sideways in the back of her pants.
You never heard of Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah, well, to borrow that song, Baby Had Back.
Yeah. What do you say, Star Patrol?
He got those amplifiers there from over there on the West Coast.
He did what with amplifier?
Since you want to get that microphone.
Yeah. Let me see if that's better right there. Is that a little bit better right there?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you say about Prime Minister?
Yeah, I'll say, but you know about them boxes they built over there? Them Prime Minister built box, that skullcracker.
Yeah, I reckon he started building them back again, or he's kind of teamed up with BBI, isn't he?
Oh, he's still doing it. But he probably, you know, he won't build them. He got the money to back it, so somebody else probably building them now.
Yeah, he used to work on them, though. He used to make them radio, you know, work on radios and all like that way back, because he had in the chat room, he'd be on there, you know, building them.
Well, he came on that back there. He's doing all the little work on them.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I saw a video of him on Baker Man BBI Break, I think that's what it is on YouTube. Man, he's gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, a lot of them, you know, they ain't as active as they used to, so they was the beam pole, now they just get to be a round pole, right?
410.
Yeah, I think BBI says Prime Minister taught him that he was Prime Minister's apprentice.
I devil. I know he had a water-cooled box, though. I got a picture of it somewhere, I don't know, years ago. I don't know what it put out, and a picture of his beams, big old gigantic, you know, not as big as Motormouth Mall had, but, you know, he could put something on anybody. He came out with that, what you call it, Godzilla scream when he'd key up, and it'd bury it in the corner, you know.
Yeah, you know, all he transmitted anymore, you must have, either he doesn't have the desire to key down no more, or he got a problem with the neighborhood or something.
I don't know. He got in there a little bit off and on a while back. He probably kind of, you know, the way these people are doing everybody now, they done turned in somebody else. You know, they got Tech 9, got him out of there. Then they got Scorpion amp guy, they turned him in. They're gonna, you know, but those guys get on the internet and they show them everything. That's why I'm real careful. Like when I tell you what I got over here, I only have received preamp stuff, you know. I can't help it what these other people got in the box there. I'm only using that part, you know. So that's why I make sure I come out with that disclaimer.
That's right. You said they got hold of Scorpion?
Yeah, 10-4.
Oh man, that guy, military. You know, he got a speech impediment. Why do they want to mess with him?
Jealous, hating on him, cause he's building. They got him out there. They trolling around trying to find somebody, you know. And so they'll put the man on him, and just to try to. I don't know. They just, you know, people do that.
Yes, that's right. He's one of the young guys up and coming. Matter of fact, BBI was taking him under his wing.
Yeah. That's the kind they like to get, you know, the way you got a pack of animals running and a lion that's behind them. The one that's not making it up to the rest of them are running in the back. That's the one they're going to get.
Yes, that's right.
And it's a shame, you know, not hurting anybody, not hurting nobody, man. They're not building anything, you know, terrorist activities or doing anything to hurt anybody, and damn, people can't stand it. They gotta get in there and try to do that, but I feel sorry for him. But I'm sure that he don't have to advertise on YouTube. I'm sure he has enough business, and matter of fact, it might even help him, you know. Underground is always more expensive than out in the open.
Yes, that's right. I'm sure, because I know Tech 9 ain't stop him. He just don't do YouTube no more, but he's still doing his thing.
Oh yeah. I think he'll send you the videos if you want to get in touch with him, you know, about different videos that he's got.
Oh yeah, hey, that's what he does. He makes the video. He's still making the videos. He sends it to his customers along with the box.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy, man. And I hated that happened to him, because he's not a. There's one of the guys you mentioned. I'm not gonna say. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna shut up. But anyway, he's not an arrogant guy, and I like that.
Damn right.
Because you know they be listening to me. They say, let's go over there and see what that dirty diaper's saying. Let's try to catch him riding dirty. Yeah.
Well, BBI, if he built an amplifier with a 12-watt transistor, he'd try to claim it put out 100.
What do you say they're 15-4?
I say, if they use 21, they'll go to Crazy Man's house.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, that's where I'm at.
They do come over here. I got something waiting on them.
They go over there and they'll come back different.
Yeah, they'll be walking good. Looking different.
What do you say they're not range? You say somebody put in a 12 volt and have a 125 coming out?
Yeah, I said BBI, if he built an amplifier with a 12-watt transistor, he'd try to claim it was putting out 100.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. They got the, 5 bird watt meters. They got one pointed one way and then another one pointed another way, and then they got another that checks the first one. And I don't know. But anyway, so this is what it's doing. Let me flip this. And then flip that. Well, let me go back here on the side and check this. See the radio, see the meter. Oh, this is it right here, So I don't know, well, they say, well, how many volts are you putting into it? Well, I'm putting 14 volts, Well, anyway, I don't know how they do what they do. I guess. Yeah, say, oh, you don't have it. You use those dozy meters over there, We got to get a bird meter. I got it. I just don't like them. I don't like the way they look. I've always had big dozy meter. I'm used to it. I got my antenna switch in it, you know, and I need to change that because there's several reasons, but right now it don't matter. But because I've got one made by Black Cat. I got a Wawasi version of the dozy that Emerald Dozy himself signed on the inside of it. I sent it back to them to recalibrate it for 6,000 watts. And he was getting ready to sell the company, the Crystal Manufacturing Company that made the meters after him. He said, well, you better send it back because I'm getting ready to retire. And he signed on the inside of it. I've showed it to a couple of people, but that's just for me to know. But I just like the wood. I don't care what it is. I know what I'm supposed to be putting out. I only use it as a reference. I look over there from time to time, and if it moves one way or the other, something ain't right. That's what I'm after. I'm not saying, man, look what I'm putting out. I got to, I'm looking to see, like an RPM gauge. That's what I go by. It doesn't matter. The other part don't matter to me.
I remember listening to Carpet. Pretty sure, I think it was Carpet. He got his first, I guess it was a Bird 43 without the peak reading kit. Now he'd been using the Dozy, and I'd been listening to him, talking about getting one, and he finally got it. And he got home and he keyed up and he said, "I hate bird meters." And I said, I keyed up. I said, "Did you get your feelings hurt?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah, well, they're RMS, and where the Dozy is RMS too, and they're pretty accurate there. They're pretty close. I mean, they're pretty accurate. You just got to kind of, like I say, if you worried about the, exact, it isn't exact, but that's all hype. Oh, you got to have a bird meter. That ain't gonna help you get out any better, so I don't know.
So you gotta have batteries for those dozies, for those bird meters, right?
Let's see. I don't remember. I think I know my antenna analyzer. I do.
Yeah, I think those bird meters carry a battery too, because I hear people complaining all the time, "Oh, my battery's dead. I gotta get another battery."
That might be only if you got the peak reading kit. If it's just a regular stock Bird without the peak reading, I don't know that it needs a battery, but I've never owned a Bird, so I'm kind of guessing.
Yeah, with the peak reading kit, you need the battery, but I don't have the one with the peak reading kit in it. I got the antique leather case and slug things and all. I don't know. Let me see if I can find the damn thing.
Battery when you got a digital meter.
I feel like digging it out right now. It's over there. I got too much stuff over there right now. But anyway, yeah. But they're not appealing to me. That little round thing. Well, you got to look at this scale. Then that's to read the bottom scale. Now wait, look at the top scale. Now multiply that, man, crap.
What about that peak reading? Was it the LPK? I've forgotten the name of it. That you see the bar graph peak reading meter that a lot of people have when they're showing off the ham amps.
Yeah, something like a DL1000, a digital readout. I'd like to have one of those.
LPK or LPA, I forgot what it is. You see them though, showing the big 3.6 1500 A7 meter, amps and stuff like that.
Yeah, 1040. Now, you can get that same thing and stick it in a Dozy meter. You can take the scale, you can take the meter out of the Dozy and put one of those. They sell that readout. I wouldn't do it, but if you're going to do all that, you get the. But that's great. It shows you the SWR, the power, everything digitally. Wow, it's nice.
I got an MFG. I like that, the Giant. The MFJ Giant, where I can see it.
Good.
I've seen that when that meter swings by and it makes your hair fly up in the air.
That's kind of like Pirate number 9 pirate out there in California, he used to have a meter that he had glued a big old arrow on it. It was cool. And I said, where did you find a meter like that at? And he told me that he had made a plastic or a cardboard arrow and glued it onto the meter, what do you call it, the movement, little needle. And it was real big, you know, that's what he had on his video gates. Then he changed it.
That MFJ's about the biggest one I think I've seen.
Yeah, it's got a big dial. I like it. I got a dozy too, but I like that MFJ. For one thing, you can see it. You don't have to screen your eyes.
Yeah, that's good for us old folks.
That's right.
Yeah, I got one sitting over here on the shelf. Not even using it.
Y'all can hear this old radio right here?
Oh yeah, we got you there, 1928, 1961.
Yeah, I'm on this old 23 channel. Old 23 channel, T-Berry Stalker.
Now that Stalker is sideband, isn't it?
Yeah, the Stalker 2.
Yeah, I had the Stalker 9. It's like a Cobra 142. Yeah, that's a good radio.
Hey, people, yeah, but the little stock mic to it and all that. Well, I'm just trying to go around slow.
Now that radio there, it doesn't have the 5-pin on it, does it?
I couldn't tell you. I have to take it off and look at it to see.
You probably would have 5-pin mic plug. You probably would have known by now. Yeah, the T-Berry one I had, Stalker 9, had that 5-pin like a Cobra 2000.
Yeah, I don't know why they go with them odd number things. Instead of stay with the full pin like everybody else, and it's easy to get to.
Then I said, my radio got 5-pin in it. I hate it. White Dog, what radio you talking on here? That Galaxy 2547?
10-4.
And a 515 special 2-pill?
10-4.
And a Antron 99?
No, IMAX 2000.
Okay, and a D104?
Yep, I bought this D104 back in 1976.
10-4. Why you got that 19...
Tempo. Hey, you were talking about that MF, what is it, MFJ meter, the giant? I got one.
10-4.
Tempo. Yeah, I sit on the shelf.
Collecting dust.
And then I have a dozy with the, what's the word I'm looking for? It gets it's got the channel in it, brain fart. But anyway, it's a dozy, real nice. And it's got the blue, the readout for the channel.
Frequency counter.
Tight. With the freak meter in the bottom base.
Yes, sir. I got one of those too.
10-4. That's like the PDC 600 with that foot thing down there, that angled thing with it cut out for that freak meter.
Yes, sir. I got one of those. And actually, right now, I'm not running no meter.
10-4. Well, I'm going to stand by because Chicken Wing is in there. Hello, Chicken Wing.
What's going on?
Nothing too much, ma'am. Drumstick, what you talking on?
A Galaxy DX2547 with a BB250 and a static mic with a 60 feet there. Roger.
10-4, well, you're good and loud over here, so I'm gonna stand by.
Tempo. And they called me rat-tat-tat, drumstick, around the big town of Mont's Corner.
Hey, what's going on in that drumstick, old Maverick waving a hand? Ain't heard you, man, in a while.
Tempo, Maverick. I've been doing good. I've been kind of under the weather. I've been taking some chemo treatments and all, and some IV potassium there, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, I hope you're doing better there, man. Sure enough, good to hear you. And we take a stand by and let you get back into everybody else. Just wanted to wave a hand, man. Old Maverick, we back quiet.
Tempo, Maverick. You and the family have a great night.
Good evening to you, drumstick. 15-4 with a wave.
Tempo, 15-4. Right back at you.
Drumstick, crazy man waving.
Hello, crazy man. I'm waving right back.
Way too righty.
Drumstick are making me hungry.
Yeah, that chemo's no fun.
Hey, drumstick.
Yeah.
That 15-4. I mean 1961. He's got you already in a bowl of hot water with some carrots and celery up in there, right?
Tempo.
So when did you start this chemo stuff?
I've been doing this off and on for about 20 years, but a couple months ago, my platelets dropped real low, and I had to go take it. I had to do about 6 treatments.
410. That stuff messes up your taste.
No, the kind I take, it don't, because I take it for blood disorder, and I don't lose my hair or nothing, and it don't burn my throat, but it does make me very weak and tired feeling.
Can you take it at home, or do you have to go in the north, or you have to go to that place over there and do it?
I have to go to the cancer center and take it.
410.
But the good thing is it helps. That's all that matters. Right?
Well, that's what counts, man, as long as it helps you.
And it does.
They have so many new things out now, you know, that I tell you, they really came a long way in the last 20 years.
Tempo. Now, what is this going to be under? This going to be under Radio Night, so I know what to look up on YouTube.
Okay, it'll be called Drumstick Came Into Town. No, it'll be called Old Radio Night, Johnson Messenger 223, and maybe today's date. It'll be Old Radio Night, Johnson Messenger 223, and possibly the date, I don't know.
Okay, and when would this be on there?
Well, it's on there right now, live. It's on there now. If you get on there now, you can listen to it. It's on there live. Or it'll probably be, when I say that's it, it'll probably be 20 minutes before they get it all uploaded, I think. I don't know.
Okay, hold on a minute and let me write this down. Just give me a minute and let me write it down, okay?
Yeah, man, take all the time you want.
Okay, go ahead. You said it's on YouTube. YouTube I know, and I know how to get that. But what's it under?
Okay, when you get on YouTube, look up Old Radio Night. And then right after that, you put Johnson Messenger 223, and then today's date.
Tempo.
Roger. Later on, I got to check out that old tube radio network out of California. I check in on that on Saturday. They show the radios that everybody's talking on there. You don't actually see the ones they're talking on. You see him in there, Bozo Control there, Dennis, and you hear them talking, and then he has pictures of them, and they talk about them, and they have some oddball radios now. They're all tube radios. Some of the guys call in, they're not on tube radios, but they get on them, and just pretty neat. Some of them I've only seen in pictures, you know, but I'd like to have, it's not right to say you'd like to have that radio. I'd like to have one like that radio, is that General MC-11 or MC-12. It was made out in California, and I've never seen one in person, but those are some loud radios, man.
Tempo. Yeah, it's the MC-12 there, Roger.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, it's got rack handles on it. Got rack handles on it like a military, it looks like a Tram Titan 2A, or different thing, you know, like a export radio, except it's got the round metal handles on it in the front.
Tempo.
I tell you what, I'm watching Lost in Space on TV, and old June Lockhart, man, back then, she looked pretty, you know, back when I was growing up and this thing was on, you know, she looked like an old lady. Looked pretty tough right now, I mean, you know. Night Ranger wouldn't think so, but I think she's alright.
Well, I like the way she looks on the show. But that was so much time, Roger.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah. Well, I was watching it back then, but I was, you know, that was Billy Mummy. That's the kid. I didn't really never care for him because of that. It was, I don't know if it's Outer Limits or one of those shows like that. He scared me one time. He turned people into ears of corn and puppets and all kind of stuff. You know, if you didn't do what he said, he'd turn you into the daggum Jack-in-the-Box thing.
One I remember that the girl I had a crush on back as a teenager was, remember the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati? And the one that I always thought was, you know, that I used to sit there and just kind of stare at very fondly was Bailey Quarters. Or the actress's name was Jan Smithers. Everybody else was looking at Lonnie Anderson, but I was looking at Bailey Quarters. She had that, the first she had long brown hair and big, and real pretty eyes, and they had her wearing glasses, and then like the later seasons she dyed her hair blonde.
Yeah, I always thought she actually looked better than Lonnie Anderson in a way, because Lonnie, I don't know, it's just too much makeup, you know.
Well, you know, Lonnie Anderson, the character on WKRP, I think Jennifer, you know, she was the gold digger, and apparently Lonnie was a gold digger in real life too, because Burt Reynolds said after he married her, he said he gave her a American Express Platinum credit card with a $50,000 credit card limit, and he said an hour later she'd already run up $45,000 in credit charges.
He bought her a 7-carat diamond ring. She took him for everything he had.
He said that marrying her was the dumbest thing he ever did.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Bailey Quarters, yeah, it's 15 and 16 years old. That was the one I was looking at.
I know who Star Patrol used to like. You still in that Star Patrol? Oh, you gone now.
There was some news article about her maybe 10, 15 years later that apparently she was driving down the road, messed up on some drugs or something, and the cops pulled her over and she was butt naked in her car.
Good boy.
And there on that TV show, she looked, you know, all sweet and lovable and, you know, girl next door like.
Old Star Trek had some nice-looking women on there, you know, back in the day, the original Star Trek, you know.
Oh, was it Grace Lee Whitley? She was the blonde yeoman Rand that was always taking care of Kirk.
Shit, yeah, a good looking one, every one of them there, 21.
I know especially that green woman, that was Batgirl. That's who she was, that green woman that was on there that time.
Oh shit, I didn't know that, but now that you say that, she does kind of resemble Batgirl.
I didn't know that either, but I like the blonde yeoman Rand. That was she was only like one season, maybe the first season, and then there was some type of issue with somebody, one of the writers or producers, making passes at her, and she wouldn't go along with it, so she got fired. But that was yeoman Rand. She was that good-looking blonde that was always bringing Kirk his stuff in like the first or second season.
I have to check it out.
I remember the one you're talking about. I think she's a little short-haired girl, blonde hair, short hair. Didn't they kill her to get rid of her? Didn't she die off or something and they replaced her?
No, you're talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. Yeah, they killed her off after that girl appeared in Playboy magazine in the centerfold, and they killed her off. Now, this is the original Star Trek, Yeoman Rand. She was beautiful, and she always had her, you know, they had her hair kind of piled up on top of her head, some weird hairdo, but she was gorgeous.
Batgirl was in Playboy.
And then second generation, yep. She died on an away mission. I can't remember her name, dude, but no shit. It was because she appeared in Playboy?
Yeah, on Star Trek: The Next Generation, yeah, she appeared in an article of Playboy, and they booted her not long after that. But no, not the woman that played Batgirl. That's a different girl. We're talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. That was I can't remember that actress's name either. But yeah, she had real short blonde hair. She appeared in a new photo in Playboy, and yeah, they canned her.
Yeah. Well, you were born like in 1967.
Me? No, 63.
Okay, well you still probably didn't want to watch Star Trek when it first come out.
I know I watched it in reruns for sure.
Oh yeah.
It was on in the afternoon when I come home from school.
I still watch it. I done seen them 1,000 times. There's a couple of them I don't like. The Trouble with Tribbles, I don't like that one. And a couple other ones. I don't like that dude that is always on there. He's on all kind of shows around that time. Those years he's on all those kind of shows. But there's only a couple of them I don't like. I see that, I turn it off. But I like to watch it, even though I've seen them hundreds of times.
Yeah, well, just Google Yeoman Rand and you'll see the blonde I'm talking about. She was smoking hot.
What do you say now, Ranger?
I said just Google, I think it's Yeoman Rand. I think her name was Grace Lee Whitley, and she was that smoking hot blonde on the first Star Trek.
Okay, the first Star Trek, where the boldly go where no man has gone before one.
Yeah, the original with Captain Kirk.
Okay. I never did care for the other ones after that with Picard or Petard. Did he hoist his own self on his own Picard? That's a joke.
I didn't like the first and second season of Star Trek The Next Generation, but by the third season it got a lot better.
Yeah, and another that I didn't like was Battlestar Galactica with the old man from Bonanza. I didn't watch Bonanza so many times when I was little. There he was on there, and I just couldn't get used to it.
Well, that show wasn't that good to begin with.
It had those robots or whatever they were with the Knight Rider LED light running back and forth in their face.
Yeah, the Cylons.
You ever noticed that Voyage Beneath the Sea or whatever, and Time Tunnel, and all of them, they use the same monsters?
No, but that robot that used to show up in Lost in Space appeared on more than one show.
Oh, yeah.
What do you say? It's a warning, over the danger.
Yeah, Danger Will Robinson.
Who's that out there calling out there, way out there? Is that you, 987?
You talking about me?
No, man, you way over there. You real loud. No, there's somebody out there that sound like about 1 pound hollering.
Oh, Roger, I thought I was down in the mud myself.
No, man, you way up there.
Roger.
I don't know, I can't hear him anymore. Might have been Skip. I heard somebody out there now. I'm gonna get Night Ranger to build me like a Dave made radio transmitter with a relay in it to where I can have like a old Helicopter SX-43 as a receiver and another transmitter where I can listen on one and try to talk on another one. Something like a Brown and Golden Eagle, but something that I would really like Night Ranger to make for me.
Oh, you just want to be special.
You don't hear him out there?
I hear whoever it is, but the noise blanker on this radio is not quite getting the noise out of this so I can hear him.
Well, fellas, we gonna call it a night. It has been fun, but the clock on the wall, so that's all for me. We put it on you guys later, and y'all have a good weekend. What's left of it? I'm fair to go.
Hi there, 15-4, catch you later. Call me at 116, we're back out.
515-4, enjoyed it, man. Always a pleasure having you in there. You make it always enjoyable. Hey, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later. 21 back out.
Who's that in there sounding out? 21, I got a good copy on him, but I ain't talked to him.
That's 15-4.
10-4, hey, 15-4, you have a good night, man. Old Maverick over here, I didn't talk to you. 'Cause I ain't heard you yet, but I heard you good just now. Have a good one, man. 15-4, old Maverick, we standing by.
All right, Maverick. We've been reading the mail on you all night, man. Sound real good in North Charleston, no doubt about it. We'll do it again when we can. Catch you guys later. Bum bum.
15-4, have a good night. Talk to you later, Night Ranger listening.
Hey, Maverick, I'm going to open up the bottom of this old brute telco amp and put up there and try to get a picture of the inside.
10-4, I'll tell you what I'm going to do then. If you go do that, I'm going to go over here and open up these two that I have, both of them. Because I know they have different transistors. One of them has a stud mount. That's the one that's missing one. It's got a stud mount in it. And it's missing one of them. And the other one's got both of the transistors in there. I'm going to open it up. And when you open yours up, because I'm going to be a little delayed on getting on the internet and looking at stuff. So
tell me what kind of pill you got in yours, and I'm gonna see what kind I got in mine. Roger. 10-4, right, I got 2 screws out and 2 more to go. I got the stud mount, but I don't remember the number, some funny number. Okay, I'm taking the other 2 screws out. Oh, I got a box on the other side of the room I got to go to. Mine ain't sitting right here. I'll be right back. Stick it up there. I need another pair of reading glasses here. They're Motorola's. They got 712 down at the bottom. The other one is MRF 4 something A. But anyway, I'm gonna stick it up there in front of the camera. That's it right there. Wait a minute, let me get it up on here. That's the television right there. That's it right there. That's the inside of it. Let's see. I can't focus on the, might be able to focus on it. My glasses aren't strong enough, and I can't, a little small writing like that, I just can't see it. For some reason. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Anyway, let me see if I can read what it is. I can put on 2 pair, wait a minute, no, that's not it. Still another pair of glasses I thought I had over here somewhere. I put 2 pair on, sometimes I can see that little tiny, tiny writing. MRF 420A. I don't know if that's it or not. 400A, 420A, can't tell. I'm focusing in on it. Does that sound, anybody know anything about Motorola 450A? MRF 450A was 712. Damn, that's either 430 or 450, I don't know. It's not a 455A, is it? No, I got another pair of glasses. Hang on, I'm going to stack 2 of them together. Roger. 455A would sound about right for a stud mount. That I'm familiar with anyway. I got one of mine open, and I can't open the other one real easy because it's got these damn hex head screws, and I ain't got the right bit here in front of me to open it. Alright, I just put this other pair of glasses on. It's MRF 450A. 2 of them, MRF 450A, no 455, 450A.
MRF 450A NPA silicon power transistor stud mount, 50-watt transistor.
Okay, well that's what's in there, 2 of them.
They got them at RF Parts, it looks like.
Info.
$24.93 in stock.
Wow, that's good. They take a beating now, I'm telling you. This thing here's had plenty of beating going on it, and it's got to be getting close to 50 years old, maybe 40 years old. It's got to be. Okay, well the one I got open here has got the flange mounts in it, and it has 2 CTC C0303 4 transistors in it. Never heard of those before, but it's got 2 of those in it. That's not the stud mount one though. That's the one with the flange mount. It's the stud mount I'm going to have trouble taking apart. I can take it apart, but it'll take me a little bit. Yeah, 10-4 on that there. Yeah, this is a stud mount one here. And down at the bottom, back at the back of that amp where the SO239 is at and the power comes out on the printed circuit board, there's a concrete or a sand resistor underneath it. Does yours say broadband linear amplifier? On the board in copper. No, mine don't have that on it. It's just got RF in, RF out. That's the only 2 things stamped in copper up there near that. Let's see, key tab. It's got everything listed on the board. I mean, shit. Everything's listed on the board. It's a nice board in here. Nice printed board, you know. Everything's listed, but I don't see broadband linear amplifier on it. Where the power cord comes in, mine has RF in, RF out, up on the end where the remote control socket is at. That's where that's at, up there near the SO239, right there. Near where the relay is at, up in that area. Back in the back where the transformer is at, you have the power line coming in, and then there's a sand resistor going crossways between, laying crossways back there, and right underneath that, mine says broadband linear amplifier. Okay, I'm looking at that area. I don't have that on my board. That's not on this board. Now, the stud mount board that I have, it may be on it, but this isn't the stud mount amp. This is the one with the flange mount, Roger. Okay. Well, does yours have that resistor at the back? Down 4. Right in front of the resistor, it's got some kind of little square-looking thing down there before the transformer. We'll have to get together and look at it one day. It's hard to do over the radio. Yeah, I got something sitting on the side. I think that's a capacitor is what that little square thing is I'm looking at, the capacitor. Yeah, there's one on the side too, and then there's a big capacitor on there, 470 UF at 15 volts. And then you got a diode right there. And then on the opposite side, you got a big old round-looking, heavy-looking diode thing, and then there's transistors there. And then you got a whole bunch of little square-looking, you know, capacitors, and you go on up and you got some little coily wires, and some more little coily wires. Then you get up there and you got that, right beside the relay, you got that green and red ferrite core with wire wound around it. Well, one of you can't get on there. Y'all take care of it. I'm going to change that. Fucking around here tonight. All right, crazy man. I just saw why this one is chattering when I keyed it up. Sure did. One of the damn capacitors on the output transformer is burned slim the fuck up. That's a good reason for it to be messing up. 10-4. All right, crazy man, sorry to talk so long there, boy, you out there. I've been enjoyed you being out there. Fortunately, I can't show later, Ted. That master just told you. I'll talk to him later.
Talk to you later, crazy man.
I said, night range, you got over by 2 right there. I figure you went 7 too. I figure the price don't be going too.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to shut the video gate down here, but I know I know 21's going to be doing his old radio night, so he'll be vacating as well.
Yeah, 10-4, I got to get out of here too. Hey, Maverick, 1961, a 116 and 116, And everybody else out there, hey, y'all have a good one. I'm going to be shutting it down too. Enjoy it. We'll do it again next week. 21, we back out.
Enjoyed it, everybody. Night Ranger on the side.
Oh, yeah, see you, drumstick. Yeah. 21, have a good one, man. Catch you later. Old Maverick standing by. Boom, boom.